You know what? I'm just going to say it. Recording a video and talking to a camera is really hard. This is like the fifth take or something, and it's just really hard to do it in one take. So yeah. Oh, hello. So today we're going to talk about the extraction yields of the Aeropress soup method. Um, Today I have with me the refractometer, the Brix refractometer, which is not the most accurate and precise tool to measure TDS or extraction yield. However, the Brix parameter correlates with TDS, so it is a pretty useful tool to measure relative extractions, to compare relative extractions between different brewing methods. And I'd like to compare the extraction yield of the inverted method of Aeropress and the Aeropress soup recipe that I posted on this channel before. But before that, I'd like to go back a little bit and talk about the Aeropress soup methodology and just something I've been messing around since May of this year, 2025. Before I even know about the soup methodology or Espresso Aficionado Discord server, even before that, I wanted to improve on the espresso style recipe that have existed before, and the Joe Presso or Prismo Fellow solutions did not appeal to me because I didn't want to spend more money than I've already spent on coffee. So I thought to myself, what is the difference between the Aeropress espresso style brews and the espresso? Well, the espresso usually has a coffee puck through which you can do your efficient percolation at pressure, of course, and then you'll get this really concentrated brew. So how can the Aeropress imitate that? Well, I don't have a temper, I don't have an espresso machine, so I just decided to use the plunger as a temper, right? So I've experimented, took the Aeropress cap, took some ground coffee and tried to temp, and have tested like different doses which could fit into this cap, which is not that much. And then I thought to myself, if you put the cap on the Aeropress and just use your plunger to temp the grounds down, then you'll have your puck. And now the problem is to get your plunger out and preserve the coffee puck. So one of the things that I found to be helpful is doing the twisting motions. One of the comments on Reddit said that the twisting motion is useless. However, I find it useful to make more even of a pressure and useful to pull the plunger out without much pulling action that could have somehow pulled too much air into the coffee grounds here and just destroy the puck. So now you can make a puck here and you can do the percolation. Right, so we need something to add on top of the coffee grounds to preserve the coffee puck when you pour your water. So I put a paper filter on top of the coffee puck, and then I started blasting with boiling water, and I got something really interesting. However, the one problem that I found is that the carbon dioxide release from the coffee grounds would annihilate the coffee puck completely if you're not quick enough, or the coffee beans are too fresh or something like that. And I thought, I don't have a good grinder right now, so maybe it can wait. And then I found out about the soup kitchen. So I wanted to find a better solution to this problem, and I got myself a good grinder. And one of the things that helped me was using lower temperature water, which is the recipe that I've posted on this channel. So by using the room temperature soak, you're delaying the carbon dioxide release. However, it comes with the cost of lowering your extraction and lowering the temperature of the brew. How much? We'll see later. Oh, before that, I'd like to shout out to Littlegator from the Espresso Aficionado server, who measured the extraction differences between the inverted method of Aeropress and the Aeropress soup recipe, and I'm going to try to replicate it. Oh, and also I want to say that the measurements that we're going to do today are all n=1 measurements, so we cannot really make any conclusions from that, but we can see some trends and how different variables change the extraction yield. Anyways, so when I used room temperature water to soak the puck, I found out that my brews were a little bit weaker, of course, but it was still pretty flavorful and delicious to me, of course, subjectively. But one of the most useful tests that you can do after the first percolation is the second percolation, which I have done on both while I was blasting with boiling water and when I did the gentle room temperature soak. I've compared the second extractions of the boiling water and the room temperature soak, and I found out that the second extraction from the boiling water was much more diluted and weak compared to the room temperature soak. So I've concluded that the TDS of the room temperature soak cannot be more than like 4%, and Littlegator's data confirms it, which is really cool. However, we'll talk about it later. Now, I want to start brewing with an Aeropress. I'll brew with an inverted method with the soup recipe that I've posted on this channel. Then I'm going to use boiling water to soak the puck, and then I'm going to change one more variable, which is the pressure that you put on your plunger when you drain your coffee. So I'm going to push really hard on the plunger, and then last one that I'm going to do is I'm going to grind finer. So we'll see how much we can push the extraction, which is not the most important part. You know that the flavor is the most important part about coffee, but it is still interesting to see how much we can push the extraction. So yeah, let's start. Oh, and by the way, I'll be using the decaf coffee because I don't want to get too caffeinated and I don't want to waste a lot of coffee on this. The recipe that I'm going to use is 15 grams of coffee soaked with 22 grams of water, and then I'll add 40 grams of water. So it's 15 grams coffee and 62 grams of water. And that should give me, in the Aeropress soup recipe, a ratio of 1:3. So 15 grams in, 45 grams out. But we'll see. We cannot exclude some human errors, so yeah, let's do this. ZP6 on 3.5. I think that I'll start with the Aeropress soup recipe with room temperature soak, because after that the Aeropress will be more preheated and I don't want to take into account the temperature of the Aeropress, so I'm going from the coldest brew to the hottest brew. So I'm going to do 4 Aeropress soup recipes. After that I'll do the inverted method. We're going to do the second pass test as well. I have my laptop here, so I'll be writing the parameters. Now we use our temping technique. Okay, temp. Pull our plunger. So it's not the most even temp, but hey, it's still something. And we are not here to do ideal stuff. There's nothing ideal in our world, and you just gotta live with it. So we're going to do 22 grams of soak. Right. Boiling water, can you please boil? Did it drip? No, it did not. Yeah, it's boiling, it's boiling. Yeah, okay. So put the plunger in and let's do our 30 seconds drain. I mean, it will be quicker, I think, but we'll see. And I'm going to push through the hiss, I believe, because I want to get the most out of this. Oh, it's already done. Oh yeah, okay. Let's push through the hiss really gently. Right. So we got our first brew of the day, and it's 46.9. Well, it's a little bit more than I wanted, but hey, it's fine. The first brew of the day. We're going to do it one more time. Not one more time, but like 4 times. Before that, let's do the second part. Second pass. The filter paper just flipped. Oh well, it's fine. So let's do the second pass. 200. Let's do the... We got our second pass. I'm already tired. I'm already tired. Oh my god. We're going to do the boiling water soak, and then we're going to just blast it with the boiling water. Whoo, man! Is it a workout? Oh! No! No, I messed up. Such a pig. Some human error is to be expected, and I'm making a lot of errors. It's kind of scary. Let it soak. Yep, let's push it. Try to drain it in 30 seconds, right? Alright. Here's the hiss. We got ourselves 44.7, which is less, but hey, sure, fine. Let's do the second pass. Second pass, incoming. I mean, like, you can already see that it's clearer. This is the second pass from the first brew, this is the second pass from the second brew. You can already see that this one is kind of clearer than this one. It is lighter in color than this one. So yeah, there's that. Let's do the third brew. Oh my god, oh my god. So in this next brew, we're going to push really hard and try to drain as fast as we can. So let's go. It's going to soak just a little bit more. Now we will not wait, and we just push it really hard. Oh, it's not. See? That's the problem with the boiling water. The carbon dioxide released here, so I wouldn't say that it's a successful brew, but look at this. A lot of foam here. Output is 45.4. Let's do the second pass. 2 more brews. In this next brew, we're going to grind at 1.5 setting on the ZP6 to see if we can push the extraction to its limit. And we're going to use this grind setting on the inverted method as well to see if you can push the extraction really well with the immersion method. So while I'm grinding at this painful setting, I'm going to say that we're going to use a different type of technique. We're going to use the one that I've used in the espresso YouTube short, where I just put the plunger in and then used all of my strength to push the extraction out. Whew! Another grinding done. Alright, we're so close to the finishing line. So we'll add all of our water here, and the moment we put the plunger in will be the start of the pre-infusion phase, after which we'll try to blast through, press as hard as we can to get all of the extraction. So let's go. Whoa! Oh, I've added more than it needs, but let's see. Whew. 51.6. It's not great. It's not great. I messed up. I messed up. Did I mess up? I messed up. But you can definitely see that the second pass on this one is much more clearer than this one and this one and this one. So there's that. One more brew. And that's the inverted method. Oh my god, let's do this. Let's do this! So in the Littlegator's data, he found out that the inverted method produces approximately the same extraction yields as the room temperature soak, but the room temperature soak, even though it is brewed on lower temperature, has a similar extraction yield and even a little bit higher, like 12% and 10%. I hope that we can accurately reproduce these results. We have here 15.1. We'll add 62 grams of water here, right? Swirl it a little bit to boost the extraction a little bit. Now we wait for 1 minute and 30 seconds mark to hit. As a reminder, the grind size here is at 1.5 setting on ZP6. So at the 130 mark, we're going to do the swirling, right? And then we reverse our muck. Now we'll wait for 30 seconds. So here's our inverted method. Let's push through the his. And we'll do the second pass test as well. 46.1. And you can see that it's pretty darn dark. Like, there's still a lot of stuff to extract. So here's the inverted Aeropress one. Oh my god, we're finally done! So let's wrap this up. I'll clean up this place and then we'll move on to the tasting part and also the measurement part. Of course, these brews are all at different temperature, but we'll see. Let's do a little bit of tasting. They are all at different temperatures, which is not ideal, but we'll have to try. So this one is the room temperature soak. It has definitely oxidized. It is still good. Yeah, the extraction here is definitely higher. It has more mouthfeel and also the acidity is more bright. And this one is the uneven one with the pushing really hard. Surprisingly, this is more balanced. I really like this one more. However, it feels a little bit weaker than this. I like this. Yeah, I like this one. This is the one where we used the really fine grind setting and pushed really hard. So let's see. It is actually not that bad. I might even say that I like this. Again, the inverted method. It is pretty tasty, not going to lie. Overall, I kind of like all of them. I don't have like the most perfect palate. What about the second extractions? The second extraction of this one is pretty weak. Okay, now let's go to the fun part, which is the measurements themselves. I have calibrated the refractometer, and I think that I'm going to measure both the brews themselves and also the second extractions. Oh hey, so here are the results. I've mixed the soup together and diluted them a little bit. I also drank some of these soups just straight up, like this. So here are the results. I'm going to show them somewhere on the screen, or I'll do some editing stuff. So the extraction for the room temperature soap was 13.6%. The one with the boiling water was 15.3%. The one with the hard press was 13.3%, which is really interesting because I used boiling water. The next one is the one where I used finer grind settings at 1.5. I also added like 2 grams more water, but even then you can see that the output was significantly higher. I don't know what is the reason for that. Maybe there was some channeling, or maybe the grounds didn't have enough time to absorb the water, so the water was flowing through the puck without much absorption. Maybe because of the hard press, without much time between the soak and the press, the water did not retain in the coffee puck and just flowed through the puck. And we've got a really nice extraction at 17.3, and the inverted method gave us the extraction of 15.5. I must really emphasize this point that in the inverted method I used finer grind settings than in the room temperature soak. So you can definitely mess around with the variables and achieve higher extraction. I really like the flavors from the room temperature soak method that I use. So that's the results. We cannot really make any claims from these results, and we cannot make the conclusion about one thing or another, but what it can tell us is that you can definitely play with some variables in the Aeropress soup recipe and just the percolation method to obtain higher extractions. I'll definitely do some more experiments in the future, but yeah, let me know in the comments what do you think about all of this, and have a nice day, have a good coffee. Oh, and one more thing, shout out to Littlegator. He measured the extractions too. I'll put my results and his results side by side at the end. Until next time.